everybody, it's Annette Green. I'm here on week 27 of 2024, where each week I do a crafty or craft related video. And today's video is all about this super quick, super easy DIY die stand, magnetic die stand. While I'm working on a project, my dies are on there, it stands up, it collapses. It couldn't be easier. So why do we need that? If we have magnets on a sheet, like a die set, and there's a magnet there, can't we just lay that there and work off of that? Yes, you can. But sometimes, in this case, all these different words, maybe I don't want to use all those words. I know I'm working on a happy birthday card. So rather than have this on my table and hunt and peck for the words I need, actually this one doesn't have birthday, so let's say Happy Valentine's Day. And so I would pick all those dies, just the ones that I need, and pop them on here for my project, and then I can put this away. And it stands up and it can be pushed out of the way while you're working here, and that's all you need is what you're working with right there. The other reason why you might want to make one of these is because, yes, you can buy them, but I'm looking over here at my iPad right now, not to knock these other companies, but I just know a lot of us like to save money and don't need the top high-end quality thing from a store necessarily if we can DIY it for cheaper. So Tonic makes a really nice Crafter's magnetic die stand. I'm looking at it over here on Simon Says Stamp. It's very similar to this, only a little bigger and obviously of nicer material than chipboard, but it's $40, $39.99. Okay. There's also a Sizzix one that I'm looking at, and it runs anywhere from $17 to $20. The size of it, I'm looking at the size. Where's the dimensions? This is on Amazon, but you can find these everywhere. It's called the Sizzix Magnetic Craft Stand. Looking for measurements. Honestly, it looks like it's about 5 by 5. Let's see. So this particular one I'm looking at is in centimeters. It says 10 centimeters, so that's just about under 4 inches by 4 inches, and then like 2 centimeters thick. So it's at least half the size of this, and like I said, it ranges anywhere from $17 to $20 depending on where you get it. Okay? And I want to tell you, it costs about $1 to make this. One sheet of chipboard, one sheet of magnet adhesive backed paper, and some tape. Okay, so what do you need to make this? Well, you need at least a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard. I'm going to do everything in black. My magnets are black, my chipboard is black, but you can certainly do whatever you have on hand, whether it be off-white or craft or whatever. So I'm going to cut down a piece of 12 by 12. You'd also need at least one magnet sheet. According to the size of this, the magnet sheet here is 8 by 5, and I'm going to do double-sided, so I would need 2 pieces of that. This, of course, is cut from one sheet of magnet paper, and that is sticky backed. I get it on Amazon. I will link it below. I can't even pronounce it, so I will definitely link it below in my Amazon shop. And then I'm going to use some black duck masking tape. You could use gaffer's tape, you could use cardstock instead of tape if you don't have this, but just keeping everything black for me is going to be very neat and tidy. Okay, so before you go trimming your chipboard, what I want you to do is give it a test for grain, okay? If you bend it one way, or try to, it's very resistant. Whereas if you turn it a quarter turn and try to bend it the other way, it has a little more give, and that means this is the grain of this chipboard. That's important for what we're going to do next. Okay, so here's my grain. I'm going to put it in here, and because my magnet is 8 by 5, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to start at 8 1/4. Save this, and 2 pieces at 5 1/4. We'll take this leftover piece, which that grain is now going this way, and it's resistant this way. Cut this at 8 1/4. And then I think I only want my little base to be 2 inches, 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches. So I'm going to turn it this way and do 3 inches. So we've got our 2 boards here, 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then this one is the 8 1/4 by 3. So we want to score this one, and the way you score chipboard without going all the way through is we're going to take this and a ruler and a nice sharp craft knife, and we're going to do a very light cut at 1 1/2 inches right down the center. So I'm just lining it up. This is an Omni Grid quilter's ruler, just from the craft store. So I'm going to go 1 pass, and I'm giving it a very light touch here. You can always do it a little deeper, but I'm going to check it after 3. And if I can easily bend, and this should be very easy because it's with the grain. If this starts to tear and do funny things, that means you've cut it the wrong way, against the grain. So this is what you'll have here. It folds nice and neat, and you could fold it all the way back on itself and it's a-okay. And if you were worried about it, you could put a piece of tape here, and I think just for aesthetics I will. And to make that pretty, I'm going to put some of that black tape on there. You do have this, and that's fine, and that's going to hold just fine because this part didn't get cracked through. But I would like that to look a little bit neater and prettier, and you don't want to lay this flat and put the tape. What you want to do is fold it. Maybe hold it down with something. If you have a friend, they can hold it down for you, or you can put something heavy there just to hold it in place. And then you want to put your tape halfway across. Let's get this straight so we can see. Hanging halfway off this long edge. Okay. And then flip it on around. Because if we did this with it flat, as soon as we'd go to try to refold it, that would crack and rip right through that tape. Now if you're using gaffer's tape or maybe even electrician's tape, that black kind of stretchy stuff, you may not have to worry about that, but mine is just masking tape, so I don't want to take any chances there. And I could have done a little bit better job making that more even on each side, but honestly, this is going to be underneath. Nobody's really going to see that very much, so I don't care. But there it is. I'm happy with that. And just to prove it to you, this is the one I did before, and I did it flat, and as soon as I folded it, totally cracked right through the tape. So, okay, and as simple as can be, now we're going to take one board and we're going to tape at the base of our little tent here. We're just going to do a folded over piece of tape just like we just did, and we're going to do the same over here and at the top. So we're going to have this little tent piece that can collapse and open out on our tabletop. And since I don't have a buddy here right now to help me hold this together, I am just going to clip it, a couple little clips, and get that tape across the bottom. It's nice to work on a grid mat or something like this to kind of help you out. I'm not being very precise. I could measure and get this all exact and draw a pencil line, but it's just a quick project I'm wanting to get done today, and I feel like I don't have to be that perfect about it, right? So I'm just going to fold this on over. Okay. Take that off. So far we have this, and I'm just going to put some tape on that inside edge. Again, not really necessary, but I think it's just going to look neater. Put it right through the middle. This could have been folded over, yes, that would have looked neat. I could still do that with a little piece if I wanted to. Okay, Looks good. Looks pretty tidy. All right, then we'll do the same with this side. Here you get it flipped the correct way. This is what we're looking at. This is the underside. So I'm going to clip this again. And really, it can be open. It doesn't have to be folded up like that. Just enough to clip these squared up down here to get that tape across the bottom. This board is scooched over. Okay. Okay, more tape. Okay. And so this is what we have now from the side. We're getting there. We're going to have to put one more piece of tape up here, but I do want to finish this one just like I did that one with a tape through here. A line of tape. Okay, and so for my top part, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get in there with tape on the inside. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of like super thick tacky glue. And I know that these two are going to come together just perfectly there, just barely touching at that edge. So I'm just going to start off with a thin bead of glue up there. This dries clear, so I'm not too worried about it. So just a little bit. And I will take a few seconds to hold this together just till it kind of grabs and holds. And then I'll be able to put my tape on that once it's set. If I put clips here, that would help a little. I just don't want it to indent into my board. And I think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to put any marks there. So we'll do that and let it sit. I feel like my glue has kind of set. I didn't give it a whole lot of time, but I think that's going to work. And just so I have my hands, hold on, and gently pull this up. Okay, and then we can fold this around. Start from the center and push out. That way you'll avoid getting too many wrinkles. And again, if you don't have the black tape and you don't want to run out and get some, you can use cardstock and just use double-sided tape on the back. I think that would work great. All right, I just need to trim off this excess and then we'll get our magnets on there. Okay, looks good. Collapses. Wonderful. Very neat. Now, there is a little bit of a white edge to this tape, so if that really bothers you, you can take a Sharpie and kind of touch it up. Doesn't bother me too much. This is a tool. This is not a display piece. So, but I know that a lot of you are very neat about your crafting supplies, so no shame in just touching it up if you want. Okay, I'm happy. Now we can peel and stick these guys on here. If you wanted to round the corners and all that stuff, you could. I'm just going to go for it. And we know that the size of the board is 1/8 of an inch bigger than our magnet. So just start there. Press it down. Okay. You don't have to do both sides, but I'm going to. A lot of times I'm using several sets of dies and I don't want to mix them up, so this way I can put maybe one die set on one side or the pieces from one side. That way it just keeps everything orderly and organized and you don't forget, and I certainly have put back dies onto the wrong sheet once I've taken them off, I can't remember. Have to look at the packaging if I have the packaging. So this is kind of nice to keep those things straight. Okay, I feel like the project is done. Let's try it out with some dies. I've got this retired flamingo die that I'm playing with for something for the cruise I'm teaching on. And I can just pop all these little bits and pieces so I don't lose them on my table while I'm working. And you can even put the pieces close to the one that you're working on. So see, there's two different flamingos here with their beaks are a little bit different. So I'll put those together. Lost a leg. Here's a leg. These two go with this guy over here because he's facing that way. And of course the bigger guy gets the bigger wings, so we'll stick that over there. Anyway, you see this is fun, right? So you can kind of get things in place if you want to. It stands up great on my table. I can see it sitting over there while I'm working here. And if I was working with another die, which I will be in a moment, I'll put it on the other side. So, I mean, it couldn't be easier. And it's such a great little tool. I can fold it up and tuck it away when I'm done. It's nice and flat. So what do you think about that? I hope you like it. I love it, and I'm so thrilled that I took a moment to make this very quick little project today and share it with you. I hope you give it a try. If you do, please come back and let me know, or take a picture and tag me on social media. I would love to see it. It's just so easy, so I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week in the next crafty video.